Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It's January 1st, 2021, and our New Year's tradition is to make paella. So we're going to do a little paella video for you today. Hope you enjoy it.
Paella a la caldo.
A la caldo, because paella, again, one of those dishes, lots of different ways to make it. This is the way we make it based on what we like. All right, so.
We have homemade chorizo. That's going to be part of the dish.
Lobster tails, they will be broiled and they will be put on top at the end. This is lovely shrimp and calamari. The shrimp, I had to peel the shrimp, but I used the peels in the broth, made it really delicious. So it's an excellent choice.
Because the broth is going to be used.
There's the homemade broth in which I broiled some of these great shrimp shells. Okay, what else do we have here now?
Then we have...
Well, we have rice. Arborio rice from Wegmans.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Then this a mixture here, whatever it's called.
This is the broth with whatever it's called. It's broth, and it's got saffron and annatto seeds in it, mostly because it makes great color. Also, saffron is essential.
That's the saffron.
So we just want to show you this ginormous thing of saffron. My mother gave us that. I don't know, like 20 years ago or something.
Ago, yeah.
She's been dead for almost 6 years, and we still have a ton of it left. So thank you, Norma. We have tons of saffron.
Then
and we're going to use, my Penzi's item today is paprika smoked Spanish style. Delicious.
Right.
And then we have...
then we use, well, this is later on. We're going to use lemon and lime. We squeeze it onto the final product once that's done. Shallots and onions.
Shallot and onion.
Garlic.
Garlic.
Wine. White wine. Peppers. Yellow
and red, whatever you like. We're going to put them on the top at the end.
Green beans, chopped.
Chopped green beans.
And petit pois.
Baby peas.
Baby peas.
I think, and olive oil, salt and pepper, the usual. So that's all the mise en place. And we're going to get started and show you how it's done. Okay, so we're going to get started here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to brown the chorizo a little bit. We're not going to cook it completely. We're just going to brown it a little so it cooks more. I want to show you this amazing all-clad paella pan that my mother, yes, Norma, gave us years and years and years ago, and it was such a great gift. We've used it so many times to make paella and all kinds of stuff. So thanks again, Norma. All right.
I think that was from our days in Miami.
Yep, we lived in Miami then, back in the day.
Wow.
All right, so we're going to get a little olive oil going here.
All right, olive oil.
And with the heat's on. This time we managed to remember to put the heat on. And then we're just going to toss it in?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to toss this in. And it's going to take a couple minutes for that to brown. So we will get that going, and then we will check in again with you in a few minutes. So we just wanted to check in on how we're getting that sausage browned up.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh, again, camera work, please. There we go. Not completely cooked, like I said. We're just going to brown it a bit.
Just get it out.
Yeah, you think that's enough?
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to put that aside and continue. Well, let's just keep going here. Let's put this in here.
Okay.
Can you manage? Or should I shut it off?
Let's just put it in there.
There we go. All right, next will be the garlic, sorry.
A little more olive oil.
Of course, a little more olive oil. The onion and shallot. Let that get started to sizzle a little bit. Oh, it smells, that chorizo, man, that smells good.
Yeah.
Okay, get that going a little bit.
Salt and
pepper, the Jose Calvo way. Just throw it in your hand, throw it in the dish. Get that going. And again, this doesn't have to cook too much because it's all going to cook a lot more once we get started with the broth.
I think it needs a little more oil.
I think it needs a little more oil. All right. Woohoo! Olive oil. All right. Oh my God, the smell.
Yeah.
If you could just smell it. I'm going to bring the camera a little closer so you can get a better idea what we're actually doing here.
All right. Great.
There we go. Now that's cooking nicely, and I'm just going to throw the garlic in. This is, again, is like a million cloves of garlic, like 7 or 8 cloves of garlic, because, you know.
Garlic is the food of the gods.
Food of the gods. Like I said, no such thing as a recipe for one clove with 1 clove of garlic in it. Always use more. And that smells amazing. All right, so it's starting to sweat down a little bit. My goodness. Should we wait a minute, or should we put the
Let's let it a little more because it needs to brown a little more.
So we're going to let it brown up a little bit more, and we'll check in a minute. Okay, so it's pretty much in the place where it needs to be. So now we're going to add the arborio rice. We didn't wash or rinse the rice at all. We're just throwing it straight in. Okay, now what you do is you stir that, stir it all together, get the rice covered with the oil and the mixture. I'll get out of the camera angle so you can see what Jose's doing here. But I will narrate. And then what you do is you let it, this is kind of on medium-high right now. Maybe put it on medium, there we go.
Okay.
And then you have to you just cook, you don't burn it, you just cook it a little bit so it starts to get slightly golden. What would your mother used to say, Jose?
Doradito.
Hasta que está
bien
doradito. Just a little gold.
My
Okay.
mother.
And the next steps are, we're gonna cook it like you would cook a risotto in a way. We're gonna start with the wine.
Okay, so we pour the
Are
wine.
you ready for the wine?
Yeah.
All right,
I
pour the
think it
wine in. We're kind of gonna deglaze a little bit with that wine,
That it,
and you let it cook until the wine
Bring it up a little.
absorbs into the rice, which will take a couple minutes. Then the next step will be this caldo with the azafran in it,
Azafran and
and then
annatto seeds,
annatto seeds, and then
which is achote in Spanish.
achote, annatto. Yeah, it's got a couple different terms. Okay, so we're gonna let that cook for a few minutes, and then we'll continue. Okay, so the next step, the wine has been pretty much incorporated into the rice. The next step will be to put this yummy caldo that's going to give it flavor and color. And the same thing, we let it cook until that absorbs into the rice. So that is started. In the meantime, I am going to set up the lobster tails to be broiled. Show what?
Show how the looks.
Okay, so it's like making a risotto, whoops, where you just let it soak in to the rice. Beautiful, and it smells amazing. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so while we're still waiting for that liquid to be absorbed into the rice, I'm gonna get these lobster tails ready to go in under the broiler. So they're pretty small. I got them at Wegmans, where you expect. They've got salt and pepper on them. I've melted some actual real butter. And I'm gonna just pour that over the top. It's a real low-cal item. And then just some paprika. This is regular old Penzies paprika. Give it a little color. It doesn't really do anything to the flavor. They just look really pretty. And I've got the broiler on, and you just set them under the broiler for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. Not very long, because they're small and they're going to be quite
They're going to be
close.
sort of cooked
They're
on
going to
the
be cooked ahead, and then we put them on top of the
finish.
paella when
Yeah,
it's done.
cooking on the rice when it's done.
So are we ready for
that's
the
there.
next step
I'm
here?
gonna bring this a little lower.
We ready for the next step?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's move the camera back a little bit. Here we
Okay.
go. And what's next, Jose?
The next step is we're gonna add a little bit of this
some of the broth.
because the rice needs to cook slowly.
Okay. Just like a risotto. If you made risotto, you know what I'm talking about. Now, is this when we put the paprika, the Spanish paprika, the smoked paprika
yes,
in?
exactly. Yeah.
Are you going to go now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
Here we go. So we see you and we see
I'm gonna add.
all right,
a
so
couple
this
of
is
this.
broth. It's
So,
warm already.
The broth is added to the rice one ladle at a time.
Or, you know, a ladle, maybe a ladle or two.
half, but not all of it because this has to cook slowly.
That looks good.
And it can't be too dry. I mean, it's not going to be dry anyway.
Okay, so should I throw a little of this
Yeah.
smoked paprika? All right, so a little, not a ton, but a little of that Spanish smoked paprika. It's really delicious.
And of course,
little salt, pepper,
and pepper.
because we can. Okay, that smell, that smoked paprika smells amazing.
Yeah. Which one is it? Paprika, okay.
That's the regular paprika that I used on the lobsters.
Okay.
All right, so we're just gonna let that absorb and we'll be back. Okay, next step.
Now we're gonna throw the
Vainicas, green beans,
vainicas,
whatever you want to call them.
green beans, vainicas in
Spanish?
In Spanish, in Costa Rica at least, or Costa Rica. They throw that, and then the petit pois.
Yeah, the petit pois were frozen, obviously, but they still need to cook a bit. And
more of this
more
liquid.
caldo. Okay.
because it needs it for that cook.
Turn it up just a tad, just a little.
Okay.
All right.
So like I said, you add
Just
the liquid
slow.
a little at a
Go
time.
slow, slow, slow.
Because this is a slow cook kind of dish.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so the chef has requested, I'm the sous chef tonight, that I show how this looks as it's boiling up. I hope you can see that. I have no idea if you can see it. I sincerely hope so. But, so it's absorbing, absorbing, absorbing. The next step will be the fish and the chorito.
Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna add the fish.
Just shrimp and calamari.
Shrimp and calamari. I'm just gonna, yeah, okay, I'm doing it with my hands, so I'll get over it. There. It's a pandemic, I wash my hands a lot.
I'm gonna eat it.
There you go. And then we're gonna throw the partially cooked chorizo in there as well. And we're gonna put more caldo in, right?
Yeah, more
Okay.
of this broth.
Broth.
Delicious.
Yum.
I'm telling you.
So,
That's what you need to add, just a little at a time.
so this is really Jose's recipe. That's why he's basically doing all the work. I'll have to do the dishes though, unfortunately.
Mamita Maria.
What about Mamita Maria?
Well, reminds me of her
Yeah.
old ways of cooking. My grandmother.
Jose's grandmother. Her name was Mamita Maria.
My father's
I never
mother.
met her, but she must have been a really great lady.
Ooh.
That looks good. All right,
looks
so we're gonna let
delicious.
that. Did you put the caldo in?
I'm gonna put a little
Yeah, I'll
more.
put a little more in, and then we'll let that
'cause
cook
that
a little
needs
bit.
It can be too dry and it can be too
Too wet.
wet or
Aguado.
aguado, mushy.
Yeah.
But it has to have some kind of juice at the very end when you eat it, so that's what the paella is all about.
All right, so we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so
All right.
it's time for the final steps.
So we have that covered.
Yum, yum, yum.
It's a little.
It's a little watery, but we're okay with that.
We're okay with that because it's got a lot of.
Because who cares? Okay, what's next? We put the strips on, right?
The strips on.
Okay, so we're gonna alternate a little red and yellow
Okay. Do you want to be a little
and be artistic about it.
Spanish-like?
Yeah,
A la
are those the
española.
colors of the Spanish flag?
Well, it's just
Kind of?
kind of.
Yeah, not really. Not
But
really.
paella is from Valencia, so
Well, I screwed this up, but whatever.
well, it's okay. That looks
we'll
good.
put that in the middle like that. Okay, there we go. And
All
now
right.
the next thing is I'm going to put these lobster tails on the top that I broiled. They look very good, just like that. And Jose, you're going to squeeze some lemon and lime on there.
Yes, it does, because it needs it, because it's got a lot of seafood
Lots
in
of
that.
seafood, and
So,
we have both lime and lemon, and we're going to do a little of both.
So I just squeeze it over like this,
Mmm.
because that is delicious
And then the lime.
lime.
And then we have extra little lemons that we can serve at the table on my fancy lemon dish that I bought in Italy.
Okay.
So it's done.
It's done.
That is paella alla calvo. Thank you to my amazing chef. This is your sous chef saying enjoy, and everybody have a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.
Happy New Year to
Let's
all.
hope 2021 improves rapidly. We love you all.
Bye.
Okay, so we already said goodbye, but I'm just going to show you how it looks on the table. Very, very beautifully done. Thank you, Jose. And we're having my infamous zucchini carpaccio, for which there is already a video out there, and some nice Chianti Classico. And buon appetit and buon provecho.